Good afternoon. Today I wanted to just go over a declaration that was just presented at the UN High-Level Council in New York, to where we discussed for the second time in history a health care issue as one of the main developmental stumbling blocks, and this happened to be NCDs. So, non-transmittable chronic diseases. Why is this so important? Because when you look at non-transmittable chronic diseases, the main pusher is overweight and obesity, and one of the main tools is physical activity as a prevention tool. So, in this sense, if we look at the only other time healthcare was part of the UN high-level meeting, with all the heads of states. It was in 2001, and it was HIV/AIDS, and we know what happened there. The efforts of all the countries accumulated to solutions for this healthcare problem. With NCDs, we're upgrading NCDs to developmental issues, not only healthcare issues, but it becomes a developmental issue, which means that more partners, more ministries get involved, which is good news for everyone. When we look at obesity and childhood obesity as the main pushers for NCDs, we're looking at an approach that is different than in the past. We've seen that nutrition advice and exercise advice does not work. And we've seen this on the data from the different countries. So research has shifted, and I think it's very important for you to know how it shifted. It shifted on environments. We have to create the environments differently around the people, around the communities, around the children, around the mothers. And so the focus now is that, which means it's a small shift in focus, but it's a huge change in how we do things. So healthcare, doctors, physicians, play a much smaller role. And there's a whole group of new players that come into play. Education, infrastructure, trade, you name it, and we'll go through some of these. Can we get the PowerPoint on the whole? Thank you. It won't let me. Got it. So we brought together in Aruba specialists, experts from all over the world to do and to start working on this problem for the whole continent, from Canada all the way to Argentina and the Caribbean. And we looked at special ways of handling this. What would we advise to the rest of the world in how to handle childhood obesity? We had with us in this meeting, we had a pre-meeting in January. In this meeting we had PAHO, Pan American Health Organization, World Health Organization, FAO, IOC was present. Obama's Let's Move team, CDC from Canada, CDC from the United States, national, provincial governments, ministers, heads of parliament, scientists, athletes. 22 countries were represented, and 22 countries signed the declaration that was made in Aruba, which ended up all the way to the UN meeting. Why is this important? We look at this as a multi-level comprehensive strategy based on 3 specific principles. 1, the primordial and primary prevention and a life course approach. What does this mean? That we actually start with prevention from preconception. So it's not anymore starting when the child is born, it's way before then. The mother's weight is a pure indicator on how this child will have, what kind of life this child will have. Also, during pregnancy, the weight gain of the mother is a pure indicator. It gives us a percentage. And at the end, if she breastfeeds, how long she breastfeeds are also indicators. So the first couple of years of life are extremely critical to break the cycle with movement, physical activity, and also nutrition. When we look at a child breastfeeding, they're already going to the gym every day. The type and the amount of calories burned to breastfeed for a child is phenomenal. It's like one of us on a treadmill going full throttle. So that compared to bottle feeding already sets the child up for physical activity. And these are just this is one of the things I'm mentioning. We're mentioning the costs calculations on the first year of life. With 6 months exclusive breastfeeding, the first year of life, 50% reduction in healthcare monies. And that doesn't include the time off from work from the mom dealing with a sick child. So when we look at this, we're looking also at the multi-level focus. Here we're talking about infrastructure, trade, sports, agriculture, legislation, education, transportation. All these have real specific influences and results on how we move a population, on how much they move, how much they will move. And we're looking at specific cases in specific countries. The third one is developing self-care skills. And here we're looking at e-medicine, so electronic medicine, what we can do there to help populations. We're looking at projects, as in the Netherlands, Hello World, which is a project that was very successful in the Netherlands, where a mother that's pregnant gets a CD, and basically the CD follows the development of the child for 2 years and gives her information exactly when she needs it, to her cell phone or to her computer. So these are the types of projects that we're looking at. We are developing a Facebook for healthcare, which is called Drimby, which connects the patient with their dossier, with their medical dossier, straight to groups, NGOs, and also on the other side to hospitals, insurance companies, doctors, specialists, directly, so that the information can go directly from the patient. And here you can cut your costs in the healthcare tremendously. When we continue, we look at changing the obesogenic environment. So we're really looking at how do we change the environment around everyone. We have a new breastfeeding law that changes how hospitals deal with mothers, a mother and child center, what message goes out to the parents and to the mom, what kind of education she gets to promote breastfeeding across the board, to legislation in the workplace, where there needs to be a space for breastfeeding, there needs to be a space for, where the milk can be stored, et cetera, et cetera. So all these developments are done to really create a different atmosphere around the child and mother. Going a little quickly here, because time is critical. So it is a challenge we face, and I think sports is the biggest tool. Sport for all is amazing, because you need to have the concept of the complete family doing sports. If the parents don't do sports and just talk about it and send their kids, it doesn't work. So it needs to be a complete community approach. It needs to be an approach at work. It needs to be part of the changing environment. So when we're looking at a tool, one of the tools that we're developing to do this, we're looking at Paco the game. Basically, it's based on when we talk in the United States, we had the food pyramid as the guide. Different countries will have a plate or a pyramid. Now, the food pyramid, which had a runner going up, got replaced by the food plate. Exercise got taken out, which is a major blow, I believe, for the United States. Although the pyramid wasn't the best thing, the food plate, I don't know if they went forward or backwards. I'm still reviewing that. But we've also created something, I think is the next level to this, because with a food guide, that's your basis of education. It's your basis for everything you do as far as teaching your population how to walk, what to eat, how to move, and how to be healthy. So we've created this, which is very digestible for children, very understandable. It's 5 sails, the same sails that you would have in a plate or a pyramid, but it talks about the environment, the sun, the wind. You see a whole family exercising together of all ages. You see a dog in there indicating the psychology of the family, how important that is. We have, as the anchor of the boat, the breastfeeding symbol, which is super important. So it really incorporates everything, the balance between physical activity and nutrition. That's why physical activity is so pronounced at the bottom, because you're always balancing the two out. I'm going to present a small video, short, for you guys, and I would like to show it now, about the new game that we're developing.
Hopefully it's short, Richard.
It's short. 5 minutes. Worldwide, 2.8 million people die each year as a result of being overweight. The worldwide prevalence of obesity has nearly doubled between 1980 and 2008. An estimated 500 million adults worldwide were obese in 2008. The prevalence of overweight and obesity globally were highest in the World Health Organization region of the Americas. 62% of overweight in both sexes and 26% in obesity. In 2010, 40 million preschool children were overweight or obese. Overweight and obesity prevalence in Latin America and the Caribbean countries are higher than their global average. Globally, the highest prevalence of overweight amongst infants and young children was found in the upper middle class income group, while the fastest rise in overweight was in the lower middle income group. Over 80% of the populations in the Americas reside in urbanized areas. Labor is heavily mechanized and sedentary. Globally, 31% of adults aged 15 or older were insufficiently active in 2008. Insufficient physical activity was highest in the Americas, where almost 50% of women and 40% of men were insufficiently active. Households spend 50% of income on food. Energy density of low-cost foods tends to be very high. Calories consumed away from the home is also increasing in low-income countries. A limited availability of healthy foods, prices for healthy choices such as fresh fruits and vegetables are too high. The Guide for Healthy Living provides a solution in educating parents and children about healthy lifestyle centered around a life course approach with proper physical activity and balanced nutrition. An interactive curriculum will be created for school grades 1 to 6 and high school. Research shows that games prove to be a very efficient and fun way to get the message across at a young audience. Gold's extensive analysis of studies conducted in this area is particularly helpful in this regard. For example, Brandura and Schund found that children are motivated by 3 critical elements. 1. Rewards, which are immediate in nature and not promised in some time in the distant future. 2. Curiosity, in terms of both sensory curiosity stimulated by audio or visual effects, and cognitive curiosity inherent in constructive feedback which motivates the learner to understand and not just memorize what actions must be taken. 3. A sense of challenge produced by introducing various levels of difficulty designed to test a child's understanding and motivate him to undertake and master increasingly difficult tasks. All of these requirements were taken together, produce an element of fun and excitement. As such, They must be incorporated into any strategy designed to teach children and motivate a change in their behavior. The game Paco is based on the Guide for Healthy Living, but we've added the power of play. Children enter their name, age, length, and weight, and thus create an avatar by which they can play. But in the game, the children learn about healthy physical activity, balanced nutrition, by completing fun assignments on different islands. This includes finding and throwing food into the boat. The more and the right amount, the higher the respective sails will rise, and the boat can sail to the next island or level. On the way, they can encounter pirates that have to be defeated, can and shoot oxidants while they defend themselves with antioxidants. Every day, Paco asks the children what they have eaten and what activities did they do. So in the end, the game combines an interactive lifestyle, diet, and activity program with an educational goal. From cell phone to classroom and everything in between, in a format that teaches the player, doesn't matter what socioeconomic level, everyone will get the tools to live a healthier life.
Thank you. That's the end of Richard's part. And now you have 5 minutes to ask questions. Richard Visser, anyone?